I think Israel kind of like realized like, oh man, our press is kind of bad right now. And Netanyahu's been doing a full-court press run the past like 2 months. He obviously is understanding that they're losing a narrative. I think he understood it too late, but them picking up TikTok, this is all in an effort to clean up the image of Israel. And you can't even say AIPAC on TikTok now.
But it's not going to work, right? Like they censored the juice icon, and so people go, okay, well now we're using the devil icon.
Yeah,
like you can't censor this. It doesn't work. At a certain point, your efforts to censor are going to cause more outrage. Like this is obvious. So
genie's out the bottle, man.
I mean, just the accusation of Israel killing Charlie Kirk. And again, I haven't really seen any evidence to that except for sort of the circumstantial evidence. Weirdly enough, like my tweet a month before is like kind of the best evidence we have still.
I even retweeted it.
It's crazy. And so it's not even necessarily that they like did it. It's like something about it just opened up the floodgates for people to go, I'm not going to hold my tongue anymore. And whether it's like Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens or Matt Gaetz now is like going pretty hard against Israel. And it's like that taboo has finally just been lifted and people are just speaking honestly.
It's great to see. You know, it's because I think a big reason why is because they've controlled conservative media for so long. Right. Like, you know, for so long, like if you even talked about Zionism or Jewish power, any of this stuff, they'd be immediately ban you, right? On the left and on the right. So I think for, you know, people on the right wing to finally say, yeah, like we're annoyed by this crap, it's like, that's a big deal, man, because they've controlled this side of the internet for a very long time.
And that's what was revealed, you know, that's what really is revealed with the stuff Candace Owens is releasing, these text messages and things. It's like, this is how the sausage is made. This is how influence is peddled. This is how pressure is applied.
Well, the $2 million out, right? Like this is what they do, man. And they've done this for a while. I mean, you know, people thought like Nick was crazy when he said, oh yeah, when I was 18, they canceled me. Oh, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. No, it's true, dude. It's absolutely true. But like, I got demonetized for talking about this stuff. It's like they absolutely control both sides of the aisle. Like they absolutely do. And the right wing, I would say in the conservative media, they have an even stronger stranglehold on it.
Isn't that so weird though? Like that's so backwards to me. And like now, you know, we're finally at this point where people are actually making videos where they're going, I denounce, you know, AIPAC. Like candidates for office are saying, I will never take $1 from AIPAC, and they're getting huge cheers. Like that's insane, first of all. But then the right wing is like, okay, now we'll be the Israel guy. We'll double down on the Israel support. And it's like, what are you people doing? Like, what is the right thinking?
If Democrats do get back in, they're going to get back in with the angle of we don't like Israel. We are anti-imperial, whatever phrase they want to use. But like, look at what Mamdani's doing. I think if Mamdani is proving that if you are, you know, anti-Israel and you say something like, I'm going to stay in New York instead of going to Israel like all these other guys, like that might be a viable road that the left will use to take power back. And I think that's what they're going to do is they're going to lean really hard on the anti-Israel sentiment in the Democrat Party, because 90% plus are not supportive of Israel on the Democrat side. So I think that's gonna be their next route to the White House.
I do too, and I think it's such a missed opportunity, especially now that, you know, Trump got the ceasefire deal. I mean, that should be a big, you know, feather in his cap, and if people, you know, want to see peace in that region, Trump is really your best bet. Despite all of his you know, dedication to the Zionist cause. But I think you're exactly right. Let's go to clip 22 here. I think this is a little compilation. I've got a couple versions of this, but basically Glenn Beck was doing a TPUSA event. He sort of took Charlie Kirk's place and was up on stage taking questions from the audience. And he got some questions he maybe didn't have the best answer to. So let's go to clip 22 here. This is Glenn Beck trying and failing to respond to the outrage from the younger people on the right who are sick of Israel. Let's watch.
Israel has an overwhelming lobby over the United States government, and we have unconditionally supported them. We have fought their wars in the Middle East. Bibi Netanyahu came to our Congress in the 90s, told us a list of countries that we need to take out. Some were Syria, Iraq, Iran, Libya, etc. Through those wars, we have lost trillions of dollars. We have lost American servicemen.
We're lobbying everybody else, and they will... No one's clapping for your turn.
Charlie was starting to notice about the Israel lobby.
Could I answer my question? Could I answer the question, please?
You're talking about one thing they don't teach in school? They don't teach about the USS Liberty, where Israel literally came, blew up an American ship because they want us to get in their war with Egypt, and they don't teach that in school. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your question.
I have a question. Why is there this societal taboo around criticisms of Israel? For example, AIPAC doesn't have to register as a foreign lobby, but like the Australia lobby does. And it just
that should be changed. That should be corrected. Look, I am not going to say Israel should have any special privileges. None.
So, I mean, this isn't going away. This isn't going away. So what and look, if Republicans don't have good answers, they need to change their positions, man. And they really don't have good answers.
They don't. And it's because they've never had to deal with this before. They really have never had to deal with this before. And now it's like, now you're going to get these tough questions. And you could see Charlie was even like, oh man, this was good. I was at the Turning Point event in July before he passed away.
Oh, wow.
And, lots of guys came up and asked him questions about Israel. And you could tell he's like pissed off. He's like, oh man, like again, like the U.S. is liberty. Oh my God, again, 9/11. Oh my God. And he took a break to like walk off like and deal with it. But like, yeah, I mean, look, I disagree with Charlie when it comes to Israel, but you know, no one should ever be assassinated in that manner. Right. And I think everybody on the right kind of, you know, rallied around and got behind him like, yo, you're not going to kill one of ours. Right. And, you know, obviously, no matter what anyone says, you know, Charlie Kirk is going to go down in history. I think he was one of the, you know, biggest political commentators on the right. We can see, and that's the difference between us and these guys, these idiots on the left as well. It's like, we can have disagreements with each other, but like if something happens, like we're not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, we wish something bad. But like on the left, they wish death upon each other all the time. Like we don't do that over here. That's why we're better than these ass clowns.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm just trying to figure out even what the left is.
You
like
can tell how stressed out he was. He was like, oh man, these guys are, oh God.
He's literally taking off his blazer. He's like, he's getting hot, you know, under the collar. And yeah, he's like, you know, but look, even him saying, well, you know, AIPAC should have to register under FARA. Like, that would be the end of AIPAC. Like they wouldn't be able to operate the way they operate now if that was the truth. So
that's
like,
not even it. Like people forget, like it's not just AIPAC money. It's like private donors too. Like Mira Middleton gave like $100 million to Trump. Like there's a whole. The problem is that like they've subverted us so much where it's like it's not just AIPAC. It's like people, private donors, and everything. Like Larry Ellison just bought TikTok.
Yeah,
well, that's crazy.
And now what AIPAC is doing is they're laundering their money through other PACs. So like they're going after Thomas Massey, but they're calling it the Kentucky MAGA PAC. It's just AIPAC.
Yeah.
There's another one we showed a video yesterday. 314. It's like we're a science PAC, but it's all of their donors are all the AIPAC donors. So it's like, okay, this is just AIPAC by another name. So they see that like their brand is becoming toxic and they're trying to maintain their control while not making it obvious it's them. And of course with AIPAC, the money is important, but even more important than that, I think is the connections it gets you, the good media coverage it gets you. Like you get a lot of benefits being with
Netanyahu right now, like I think Israel kind of like realized like, oh man, our press is kind of bad right now, and Netanyahu's been like doing like a full court press run the past like 2 months. He did obviously the botched interview with the Nelk boys, which was an L. He did Tatum, he did Trigonometry, he did a couple others like he did PBD.
Yep.
So he obviously is understanding that they're losing a narrative. I think he understood it too late. But them picking up TikTok, this is all in an effort to clean up the image of Israel, and they've already like gotten rid of. You can't even say AIPAC on TikTok now.
I know, but it's not going to work, right? It's like you know, they censor the juice icon, and so people go, okay, well now we're using the devil icon. You can't censor this. It doesn't work. At a certain point, your efforts to censor are going to cause more outrage. Like this is obvious. So
genie's out the bottle, man.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously the thing they should be doing is introspective, you know, taking an introspective look and going, you know, gee, what are we doing that's wrong? But of course they can't do that, which is why they always tell people, like Josh Hammer said, anti-Semitism is in your DNA. It's in Europeans' DNA. It's inborn. It's a kind of curse that we're all
Dave Smith at that event too, and he got a lot of heat because I was there. He got a lot of heat when Tucker was there. He got a lot of heat for having Dave Smith on there, a libertarian to debate, you know, a Zionist Jew, and they gave him a lot. They gave him a lot of heartache for that, man. So, people are waking up and they can't stop it at this point, right? And because the other crazy thing too, people need to understand is like, it's not just here on the right wing that is waking up. On the left, they're aware of this too, right? Like all the big political commentators on the left-hand side are also denouncing Israel, right? Maybe for different reasons, more humanitarian reasons, genocide, which is, you know, obviously terrible as well. And here's the other thing too as well. Now that this, you know, conflict is pretty much finished for the most part, I still think Israel's going to do some BS, but I think now they're going to start to investigate what went down over the past 2 years. And they're going to see that this was a genocide in every single way. Every scholar's already come out and said it, but now it's going to be, they're going to like fully investigate it.
Right, because we haven't even gotten reports out of Gaza in the last like 6 months because they killed all the journalists. And
yeah,
you're exactly right, because not only they've been withholding the investigation about October 7th as well. Yeah. So like it's going to come out that was a stand down order. It should, at least, because it obviously was.
They've already debunked the mass. They've already debunked the beheaded babies, the babies in ovens and everything else like that. And to this day, Netanyahu still talks about babies in ovens. And I'm like, dude, this has been debunked. Like, holy crap, man. But they're still running with the Hezbollah, right? Even when I was debating Brandon Tatum, he mentioned, I was like, dude, that's not true. It's been debunked. So I predict over the next, now that the conflict is mostly done, in the next 1 to 2 years, you're going to see a lot of ugly things come out. And then the death toll is going to keep going up because keep in mind, they got like, I think 60,000 is what they named, but that doesn't account for people in rubble, people that died from the lack of food. Now the aid's coming back in, when they were saying the whole time that they weren't starving them, but they were. So yeah, dude, we'll see. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, it has definitely changed. So, like on that topic, what is your take on the ceasefire deal? Do you think this, because I feel like we all have like PTSD now, where it's like this can't be true. Yeah. It has to be a trick, right? Like I don't want to win the Fell For It Again award. Yeah. So like well, I got to look at all the angles to see like how we could possibly be screwed here. But this seems good. It seems like the only people that are against this are Netanyahu and his buddies in the Israeli cabinet. It seems like the Gazans are celebrating. Even
Israelis are happy.
Even Iran is in on it. So it's like, I really can't see how this could be a bad thing, except that it's kind of this weird neo-colonial thing where you've got, it could be kind of a setup to have a 15-minute city zone where it's an international community. I don't know. It's a little bit weird how but it seems like the best possible outcome to me.
It is, the best situation right now. But I will say that I just don't trust the Israelis. Me and you both don't trust the Israelis, right? Like, I think that they're going to do some BS. I mean, I remember when they had talked about like, oh yeah, it's over. Like they bombed Gaza again. So we'll see what happens. And the thing people need to understand also is like Netanyahu is like the moderate one in the government for the Likud party, right? Which is their equivalent to like the Republican party, their right-wing party. But all the other guys that are there that are like supporting him, Smotrich and Ben-Gvir, these guys are all nuts.
They're crazy.
They're absolutely crazy. And just so people understand like the political climate in Israel, like even his adversary on the left, they even say, we need to annex the West Bank and there's no Palestinian, we're not going to give the Palestinians a state. So even the liberals on their side don't believe in this. And the thing is with these Israelis is a lot of them are genocidal, deranged lunatics who don't look at the Palestinians as people. And this is what happens when you end up with people that in their religion, they're the chosen people, man. It's nuts.
Yeah, it is weird, man. It's like the whole world is being held hostage by this little death cult out of Israel. But of course, there's members here, the Lindsey Grahams, they're obviously very committed to this as well.
Retarded evangelical Christians, man.
Yeah, they're dedicated, and it is cultish and weird and bizarre. And but I look at it and I go, man, Israel didn't achieve anything it wanted to. I don't think it's getting anything it expected to get out of this 2 year. I mean, it killed a bunch of Gazans. Great, great job. A bunch of kids are dead.
I think they got the wars they wanted, man. I think like for them, I think they got like a monumental W in their end, right? Unfortunately, like because I'll kind of go through it real quick. So like first, obviously you had the war in Gaza. They were able to go into the Gaza Strip and relentlessly bomb them and kill them. They were able to take out Yahya Sinwar, Ismail Haniyeh, the two heads of Hamas. They assassinated Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, Iran. They were able to wage a war against Hezbollah. They ran the pager operation. They killed Nasser Nasrallah, who was the head of Hezbollah. And then they used all that to prop themselves. They got Bashar al-Assad out of there.
I think that's probably the biggest one.
That was a huge W for them, right? And some idiot, I was debating some idiot on Twitter, was like, "Yo, those are the Turks." I was like, "Dude, are you fucking stupid?" Like, 100% Israel's involved in that because after they ran the pager attack, right? So I remember this like clockwork. In September of 2024, they run the pager attack. As they're running the pager attack, they also are doing airstrikes, right? Yep. And they killed Hassan Nasrallah, head of Hezbollah. After the pager attack, then they did a ground assault into southern Lebanon, right, to take out the missiles that were coming into Haifa and everything else like that, because they had to evacuate like 60,000 Israelis. And after that was done, there was a ceasefire brokered between the IDF and Hezbollah. And the reason for this, and no one reported this, they're actually getting their asses kicked on the ground. The IDF is not good on the ground. Like Hezbollah is like, they lost in 2006 against Hezbollah. They're not that great on the ground. Israelis never do a ceasefire if they're winning. So they ended up doing the ceasefire. And then immediately, like a day after, dude, the rebels from HTS and Ahmed al-Shara, aka Jalani, they, go into Aleppo in Syria, take that over, and then work their way down the M5 highway and took over Damascus in like 3 weeks.
Well, did you hear about the app Have you heard about the app when it came to Syria? Dude, nobody knows about it. It's the craziest story. So the main reason they were able to move through Syria that quickly is because there was an app that was spread through the Syrian army where they said, download this app and we'll send you $50. I think it may have been $50 a month. And so basically everybody in the Syrian army downloaded this app because it had the endorsement of the wife of Bashar al-Assad. And they hacked it and were able to intercept all the communications and were sending fake communications. So they basically took over the communications of the entire Syrian army with this free app they gave.
And they were already pissed off because they weren't getting paid. So that's another thing too. Because like with the why the rebels were able to kind of come in, the Syrian army just stopped fighting because they weren't getting paid. The government was Syria had suffered hard sanctions, man. So they were broke, and Bashar al-Assad had to run out of there. And after he ran out of there and Syria fell, Jolani came in and took the power, and then basically the axis of resistance was cooked, and that opened up the it literally opened up the door for them to invade Iran, to attack Iran.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, no, I agree with that, and definitely
and I think that's how they won. Like for how the Israelis won, they were able to basically destabilize all their enemies, and the only thing left now is Iran.
That's true, but it's like, obviously they wanted Gaza. Obviously they wanted the,
but it came at a great
West Bank as well.
Great cost, though, because you're right in that end, because you're saying, hey, what did they win? Yeah, they beat some of their adversaries in the Middle East, but they lost a lot of public sentiment, especially the United States. So that's a big L.
And I don't know how they're going to recover that. And especially with the way they keep acting, it's just insane. And, you and Alex were talking about it quite a bit, just like, and I totally get Alex. He says he's allergic to it. And I totally understand that, especially I'm doing this for 30 years, but I feel like it's different now. And I feel like we just got to treat Israel like any other country. And when you just treat it like that, it's not actually that hard. It's not actually that difficult. And it's the overwhelming attention to Israel that our government pays to Israel that that's why we're talking about it all the time, because our leadership's talking about it all the time.
And it's been censored for so long. Like you take this subject has been banned on. I remember vividly though, bro, like before October 7th, if you even talked about Jewish power or Zionism or Israel on YouTube, you'd get banned immediately. Like most Americans didn't even know what Zionism was until after October 7th. So October 7th was like, everyone rallied behind Israel, and then they took the Hezbollah, but then they, went with the ridiculous lies of the beheaded babies and the mass and everything else like that. And that's a big reason why Hamas, like a lot of people don't know this, on October 10th, Hamas put a deal in place to give all the hostages back to Israel. And Israel said no. And the reason why is because they started to see that they were running with the mass rapes and the beheaded babies lie, whatever. And they knew, oh my God, these guys are going to level Gaza. They're going to destroy this place. That's why they said, let's go ahead and do a deal. And Netanyahu said no.
Wasn't that the point anyway? I mean, they got the hostages in order to do a hostage exchange. So that always made sense to me. All right, we'll be right back. More with Myron Gaines on the other side. Third hour, straight ahead. Don't go anywhere.